In 1986, an 11-year-old girl by the name of Mary Bell killed little boys and girls in Scott Wilkes, Newcastle. Mary Bell was wicked. The emotions towards the rest of the world seemed to not be there. The way she would kill them was that she would tell them they had a sore throat and would massage it away for them. As she massaged it, the grip would get tighter and tighter until they were unable to breathe. As a child, Mary Bell was neglected and both her parents were normally away. The family lived in White House Road, which was the roughest part of the estate. Her mom was a depressive and often had times that she was downright angry. One occasion she tried to put her child up for adoption, yet when her family tried to adopt her, she refused to give her up. Betty had a reputation in the community. Everyone in the estate knew her, that she would go away for days and sometimes weeks. She was known as the Lady of the Night. Many thought she was a prostitute. Mary spent most of her time at home. Bill, her father, was a criminal and drunkard. All the police knew him because of his record. Mary's disturbed play was well known in the playground. She had very distinctive blue eyes. Her eyes would put people into a daze. When she looked at someone, she would give them a fixed gaze, and the kids knew they were in trouble. All the kids knew you should never get her mad or turn your back on her, because if you did, she would grab you by the throat. In one incident, there was a little girl. She tied her arms together and started to choke her until she turned blue. An older girl broke the fight apart. Even her teachers noticed her behavior. As one of the kids walked into the classrooms, there was cigarette burns all over her cheeks. She said Mary Bell did it, and when the teacher asked her about it, she said, yes, I did do it. To her mother's prostitution and her father's drinking problem, Mary was influenced by her mother and father's actions along with her community. The way she grew up with all the violence around her, this was nearly more normal to her to see all the actions. She nearly mirrored what she was shown. Next door to Mary Bell was another girl named Norma Bell. There was no relation. Norma Bell was 2 years older than Mary, but much less bright. Mary Bell was always the leader. Norma Bell always followed whatever Mary Bell said. One of the child jokes was if Mary Bell told Nora to jump off a bridge, she would. Mary Bell was able to manipulate people very easily. Children of the community even started to fear the two girls. Saturday, the 11th of May, 1968, Mary Bell and Norma Bell took a little boy at the age of 3 to get some candy. Sometime later, he was found wandering, bleeding. The police did nothing to the girls. The mother of a local girl went to the police to tell them that Mary Bell had strangled her daughter and attempted to kill her, but once again, the police did nothing. Brian Howe, a 3-year-old boy, killed on Wednesday, 31st of July. He was playing outside unwatched. A little lady, Mary Bell and Norma, took him to a little patch called the Tin Wizzy. He was never seen alive again. Days later, his body was found murdered, half naked, laying in the concrete near the bushes. Parts of his hair was cut off and laying nearby his body, and his legs were partly carved into by scissors. A witness, a little boy at the age of 4, saw what Mary Bell and Norma had done while hiding behind the bushes. He says that she said he needed a neck massage, so he agreed. As she massaged, her grip got tighter and tighter until he couldn't breathe any longer. The police called Mary Bell and Norma Bell to the police station and a child psychologist. Mary Bell always asked the police where her mother was and if she was home. When the topic of the little boys was no longer in the hair, she would talk about her friendship with Norma and seemed to stop laughing and smiled. It seemed to be that she laughed more about the memories of killing the little boys and how she tortured him. Mary Bell and Norma Bell was charged for the murder of 2 boys on August 8th of August, 1968, because in her notebook she wrote down, "Boy found dead, old house," and then wrote down that the little boy went into the house and just laid down and died. When the drawing of what it looked like, the way the body was found, was never sent out to the public. She had to see the body before the police arrived.
Also, the scissors were found in her house, the same ones they used to cut up the little boy's legs. The child psychologist says that Mary Bell seemed to have been missing some of the everyday emotions someone would feel when doing something wrong to another person. Norma Bell was easy to get answers from, until Mary Bell, who was hard, says the child psychologist. The two girls were very different. Mary Bell was able to make witty remarks to any questions that were asked upon her, while the other girl was unable to answer them. Mary Bell was unlike other children. Mary Bell was made guilty for killing the two children, and Norma Bell was released because she was simple-minded and dominated by Mary Bell. Mary Bell was never put in prison, but instead people tried to help her by sending her to Red Bank, where she can go to a regular class but be watched at the same time by a child psychologist. 22 boys were in her class and she was the only girl. She spent 12 years locked away, 6 of them with Red Bank, and every second she blamed her mother and everyone around her for the reason she killed. Growing up, she was no longer a threat to the community. In 1978, she then moved to Austin Garage Prison. 2 years later, she was released at age 23 with no public outcry. She has built a new life for herself. The identity has never been released due to her personal privacy. She is now more affectionate towards people, but people in Scottsville never got over it. From the world of kids allowed to play outside in the streets with no worry to the high-rises and parents worried about their children being taken away. Mainly due to the fact that throughout construction, crime has also rise. Things change. Kids don't play outside in the streets as much as they used to.